We say, as Africans, that we are heading for environmental disaster unless we change our habits quickly. So, as you can see there, this is from IGT. The global country average is 80% of people all over the world. Remember that the IGT was done in 50 countries. But look at the African countries in the survey. Morocco at 88, Nigeria 87, Kenya 87, Zambia 91, and South Africa 86, saying unless we take some action, we are in deep trouble. We know that governments, and especially South Africans, as you can see there, average of 75% of South Africans say that if the government don't tackle climate change, they will be failing their citizens. Then they also say that businesses should take action. As we can see again, South Africa quite high there with 70% saying that businesses should take action to combat climate change. And then lastly, 74% say individuals should see the need to take some action when it comes to climate change. If we look at environmental emergencies, last year on the 28th of July, it was middle of last year, it was the date by which the demand for natural resources had exhausted what the earth can regenerate. That's scary. If you think about things that the earth can do, it gives so much, but the 28th of July last year was the day on which was Earth Overshoot Day. So what we used was a lot more than what we still have. Concern about the environmental emergency, as I said before, is ubiquitous all over the world. This is results from IGT. And if you look, all the African countries, like we showed you right in the beginning, are at the top of this list. But people all over the world, you can see here from the red bars, say that climate change is not yet beyond our control. There are things that we can do to change this. Perhaps not switch it over totally, but at least make the change a little bit more gradual so that people can make plans as we go along. And there's a strong agreement that if everyone make a small change, this could have a big impact. In Africa, if we ask people what are the biggest issues, there is concern about the environment and about climate issues, but it's not the top of the list. We give people, usually in What Worries the World, we give them a list of 18 issues in the world and ask them which are the biggest issues, the three biggest issues in your country. Now, you can imagine in South Africa, the three biggest issues always is unemployment, corruption, and crime. So I think it's quite amazing that all over the world, 10% are saying one of the three biggest threats is the environment. That's the global country average. You can see there the averages for the other countries, for the other African countries. And then climate change is a big thing, especially in a place like Kenya and Zambia and Morocco, to a slightly lesser degree in South Africa and Nigeria. But then it's the two most industrialized countries on the African continent. So we might have other things to deal with that the more rural countries do not have.
Marie, very insightful presentation. And thank you to everyone who engaged and shared their point of view. I think we all feel very passionately about this, and we want to leave the world in a better place, not only for ourselves, but for our future generations too. And I think that the main message and takeout for me is that we can have an impact. If we just all do something, no matter how big or small it is, we can have an impact and we can make a difference. So let everyone enjoy the 22nd of April and to take it into consideration on that day, but also in future. So wonderful, wonderful presentation. And thank you everyone for attending.